Good morning, guys. Oh, hang on. Okay, I had a terrible echo. Let me try it again. Okay. Testing, testing. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, you sound better.
Yeah, so I set this up and I'm watching myself on my other computer and I had all the speakers going anyway. Sorry about the background noise or the echo. So, I mean, we're a little bit early. What I wanted to do was do yesterday's video because I thought it would be fresh in everyone's mind, but I've been using it. I updated the OBS screen recording stuff and I haven't figured the settings out right. And so I was not able to record the full screen. So what I've got up here is from the 10th. And should be, I think we pretty much the full day on the 10th.
Seems like the mornings is the easiest when before open and at open.
Yes, I personally agree. I love the earlier morning stuff. Um, and yeah, I know I was talking to the DH, and he was saying he's just like this week, he's been just trying to get out fairly early in the day and bank his success and just go with that. I'm Don, I'll let you sort of go on why, what you're thinking on that.
Yeah, I keep grinding myself down in the afternoon session, so I pretty much just doing the mornings.
Yeah, my thoughts on it, I just feel like just pretty much taking an IB high and IB low off and pretty much just, take what I got from there, as long as I'm green, because I tend to get in, trouble if I kind of trade throughout the day. That's when my problems occur. So I, had all green days this week, pretty much sticking to my rules, finding, good trades in the AM, and then like no later than 10:45, I'm usually done for the day. And I just kind of, look at the market. I don't even paper trade no more because I kind of feel comfortable where I'm at, and I'm not trying to trade after that time.
I mean, that's fantastic. I don't know if Adrian is on today. I know if people did well early on in the day, the bank would actually limit their authority later on because sometimes they would also feel, giddy, or they were playing with house money. And they'd give up, some of what they had earned. I think what DH is doing, I think is a great idea. Well, how did folks feel about this last week? Things getting things seeming a little falling into place a little bit more, things getting smoother.
It's going better for me. There's still a lot of things I don't understand, or don't catch, don't understand. You know, I haven't been able to catch her all Saturday study groups as much. I'm juggling too much, but this week was a lot better week for me.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. I just think it just takes practice. I mean, I was way distracted by my job this weekend, so I wasn't distracted very much and didn't trade. But anybody else, whether they're
I think things are starting to be a lot clearer to me. It's like a blessing because it was like limited information at first, and now it's like everybody as a group as a whole, dug down and kind of, got a better understanding of things and, sharing it with others. So I think that was a big help, to my
is just, it's for the 10th, earlier this week. We've got the full day, and what some of us have done in the past is that we'll just, I normally will replay these things on 4 times speed, and then I'll also just kind of drag it through. But I don't think that Gene or Julian and any of their incarnations is going to be on today. I talked to him about it. Gene asked if we needed him. I said, wait, no, obviously, Gene, you're always welcome. But I don't believe that they are on. So this is, we'll just talk. And please, I mean, for heaven's sake, if you don't see something, just say it. I would just say, just unmute yourself and say, wait, stop. I don't see this. What are you guys talking about? Because the whole point of this is to let us be dumb together. And so we can be dumb, more or less private, because we're all in the same boat. And don't just defer to people who are saying, oh yeah. I mean, look, if you don't see it, you don't see it. And that's okay. The whole point, like Dietz just said a minute ago, he says, he's feeling better. He thinks it's going to be another 30, 60 days. We're all on that route. So if we're all good with that game plan, I don't think we have Patty today. And so she's the one who knows how to change, how to write on the screen. But we'll make this work. Let's get so you see the ES is dropping. Can you guys see my cursor when I flip it around like that at least?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Gene has started putting footprint charts on, and he's going to talk about those more in the future, but we'll see. So right now, let me pause this. Right off the bat, would people have gone short up at the top on ES here at just about at the open or right after the open?
So this one looks like a clear short to me.
Yeah, I actually did go short on that.
Okay.
I have a question though. You see the white spot? Yeah, they don't always appear. Why does that appear?
So minor pivot point. Okay. But the white spots is more of an important one. Important being defined by the calculations that Gene has put into his software. Okay. Sometimes you'll see white here over here on the Dow, the YM. You had white dots without numbers, NQ, white dots without numbers. Although that may be just the way he had those screens set up for us. So sometimes you'll see numbers like at 163 without a white dot. Here you do. So this is more of a temporary pullback. This is a better pivot. It would be more of a signal.
And again, I'm going to ask a stupid question, but the 680, the white numbers, does that represent volume?
So there's two. He's got. I mean, Gene does not tell exactly what goes into his system. You get the two sets of numbers. You get the white numbers above and below, and you get the pinks, and you got the oranges, and then when the more one is the difference between the bid and the ask volume of bids versus volume of asks. Which is which, I'm not sure, but that's basically what it is. And so obviously if there's a big uptick in bids versus asks, the price is going to go one direction versus the other. The numbers, I don't know if they're actually the sum of anything or what. And again, Gene is never going to tell. it's based on overall volume, and it's based on buyers versus as I understand it.
And sorry, and one other thing I find confusing is, so we are to sum the three top and compare the three bottom. Now, the bottom are typically red, negative, but not always. When we sum the minus numbers, they would become a larger minus number. However, if there was a positive number, that would reduce the minus number. Is that correct?
Just add the numbers.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
That's what I've understood him to say. Anyone, Olivia is on, and she's gone around and around with Julie on this stuff.
Yeah, I think when you're adding them, I think you're supposed to basically ignore the plus minus. But if there's like a and I need to go back to the notes because I don't always remember it. I think Hannah or Shannon has put basically like if there's a positive to negative divergence or switch in there, plus like the white numbers and all that like add up, then that might be a trade opportunity as well.
Okay.
Like, so that's when you'd maybe notice the negative to positive.
Mm.
Let me see if I can find it. So, I use CR charts as well, and we'll look at volume and delta. To me, the transition between negative and positive charts would, and I would sit up and pay attention. On this system, it is, I think Tim, you want to ask the question. When I have to dumb everything down for my own sake, but that's just how I try to work things. And when I explain them to my clients and all, it's really, you're looking at the strength on top and the strength on the bottom, and whoever is seeming to exhibit more strength at the moment. And you're looking for different ways of gauging that strength. Maybe you're looking at the white dots, maybe you're looking at the pink dots, maybe you're looking at the orange dots, maybe you're looking at the cumulative sum of it all. But last week, after we wrapped up our couple of hours, Gene, who I think was bored, stopped in to spend another 3 hours with us. He said, you look at the pattern, you look at like for algo lines, and then you look at the numbers, and the numbers really are your confluence or your confirmation. So it's, I think when you're looking for a confluence, you've got a little bit of flexibility on what you're looking at and what you're.
I have a question.
Go on.
So the blue chart on the ES, yeah. So if you look at the top numbers, the 1079, 1140, 1148, they kept going down, and then the numbers below them, the 198 was higher than the 177. This is looking just at the top.
Yeah.
Is that not a setup, or am I?
So likes to see either, you can see you can see it like here, 876, 1099, 1131. It's strengthening.
Yeah.
Down here, and you see, in fact, did. The other thing that he does like to see is greater into lesser. I'm not seeing an example of that here, but it's almost like a numerical. So yeah,
I was just gonna say, yeah, even the numbers, I would more look for the numbers underneath on this one. So the pink and red. So up top, like if you have, like you see a higher, lower, higher in the pink, and the pink on top is greater than the red down below, the 152. So the 198 is greater. So that, I think that's what he called, I think it's like a divergence. So basically you get a higher, lower, higher in the pink up top, and the white is actually smaller than down below. So I think I want to say that's a divergence. However, like the white dot hasn't printed on the blue to like really give you that confirmation short. And you want to look at pattern. So in this case, you might want to say, like, if you look at the ATR chart on the like lower right, you might say it's a double top. That's kind of what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
because you want to look at pattern too.
Because that blue chart is really slow.
Yes.
So, you know, you're right, that's showing weakness, but if you could have almost waited too long for the entry. So you're right in saying, in the sense that if you look at the ATR chart, or in fact any other chart, you should see a pattern breaking to then go short or use the black.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, like, to me, like, it's almost like you're getting close to like almost a support in a sense on the blue chart. Like if you line up like all the white dots and blue little ticks, you know, there in the middle, like you're getting close to support. So like you're gonna want to be careful around there, probably even take profits. That's how I would take it.
Hey, that's a good point, right? So there was a quick long in the week, and it went from an algo line, and Julian closed his trade 10 or 20 points up, I can't remember now. And I asked, why did you exit the trade? Because there was nothing obvious. And his exit was based, I think it was 10 plus 10 points from the algo line. So in other words, but I don't know why he chose 10 points. Maybe it was an acceptable bounds from the line to, you know, to exit the trade, rather than, you know, try to keep it running. Does anyone know how you arrived at when to exit?
I have seen, Christian here, I have seen them exiting always on those dotted lines. So those are also pivots, and they do also take partials or exit at the dotted lines always.
And they're marked, like Chris is saying, they're marked on the, you know, here, the yellow is referring to this here. This little blue one, it's like, they've got, it's where there has been pivots before, where things have shifted. I wouldn't be surprised if where there was a lot of relative volume or something came in, but they will have, they've got kind of targets marked already on the page above and below. And that's where, you know, Julian has gone on a riff a couple of times, but you got to think like a computer, think like a machine, you know if it's going up, what are you going to do next? If it goes down, what are you going to do next? And, you know, they've got the targets already marked. Again, we can, you know, you can pick up a lot of it. You can just sort of see, like Charlie was saying, you can see there's been a series of pivots here. I mean, it's peaked. It's going to, you know, it's going to provide a line that you're going to have to, you know, sort of pay attention to. And, you know, they've got it marked, you know, it's marked here. I don't see exactly where it's off of, but it's, you know, over on the RTY, again, you see them lining up, you know, like this. So, all right, let me hit play.
So one question I do have currently, Todd, is everybody waiting for the white dot to print before they are going to enter the trade? Or are we assuming, since we have seen currently the divergence between 152 and 198 on above, that they are going to get short already?
I suspect everyone has a different answer to that. If you wait for the white dot to print on the blue, you may be waiting a while. On the other hand, that is good. It's supposed to be setting kind of the bigger, longer trends. Here, you'll see them, they'll draw the trend lines in. I probably would have gotten in when it crossed a trend line coming up. And we can scroll, so we can scroll back a second.
Yeah, can you just scroll back that we see on the 2000 dot is a curse because it's, yeah, stop, right.
Yeah.
The next bar, it's going to print.
Yeah, so right in, I think it's one bar back, but it has just printed. And so the thing, what can get frustrating is that this price range is, can be 5 or 6 or 8 points sometimes.
Yeah.
And so this is where we really got to think about, the trade management. And you look at the ATR, how far out do you need to be setting stops? Do you go in with the smaller, with fewer lots or micros instead of minis, but so that you can afford to set your stop where you need to. Also having confidence in the system. I mean, I think that if you really have confidence that the system works and that you get a good entry, you can hang in there rather than puckering up and saying, I've only got a 3-point stop. I've only got a 3-point stop. I've only got a 3-point stop. Because this fluctuation in any given bar is probably more than 3 points. But I would have gotten in this case, it probably would have been, it had printed, but it would have been right in this range someplace. It would not have been, if you were really, and I'm not, but if you were really gutsy, it would have been on the pullback, lower high than previously. But that's more aggressive than I am.
And I found it hard to see when we are live trading because you have so many charts, and that's maybe also my biggest failure or my biggest problems I do have. Looking at so many charts, then you have the trading view chart, then you have bookmap, and I'm switching around and losing on one
laptop screen, and I finally switched to my other computer, which I've got big screens, and that helped a ton. Putting the zoom over on it with that bigger picture, you're able to see with all the multiple charts a lot better.
There is, I mean, some people, the professionals have got the 8 or 10 screens or something, but I do know people who are successful with a laptop and one modest size monitor, and they know what they're looking at, and that's what they're playing. And sometimes, at least for me, more is not necessarily better because I get distracted. I don't process quickly. I start, ooh, pretty colors, and next thing you know, it's all gone past me. So, all right, let's go. Did many of you guys trade RTY this week? There's some good moves, or people mainly sticking with ES?
For people who have traded both, what do you find the most beneficial or the risk to reward?
Hey, Benny, can you ask the question again? I didn't catch you because on feedback at the beginning. Say it again.
For those who have traded RTY or ES, is there one that is more consistent profit, or sort of moves more, I guess, steadily in one direction as opposed to zigzaggy? Or
I would reckon that's definitely RTY.
I agree.
okay, so as a beginner, that would be the one you'd recommend I try.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And Julian keeps telling everybody that RTY, or I think it's Julian, might be Gene, but after a couple hours, it's done for the day, or for the most part. You want to catch it early,
yeah.
and it's
He says RTY is a banker's market, so you get the first 2 hours in the morning and then maybe the last hour of the day, which to me sounds perfect. I mean, for those of us who are not doing this full time, it sort of lets you schedule your meetings, your other obligations during the middle of the day. I will say that both Gene and Julian have said over and over and over again, newer traders should not be in ES. And I have privately, and they will not be surprised that I'm repeating this conversation. I have repeatedly told them that they should take the freaking ES charts off of here. 6, 8, 10 point bars, you get stopped out, you reverse, you get stopped out, you reverse, and it's just, man, I have said that ES is like the worst toxic relationship that you ever had. And, it's hard to get away from it, but you just need to do it.
Yeah, it's an action junkie's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. And I like that, but, it got took down.
Chris and the other Europeans have a huge advantage on us because the metals are often the first good move is at 4 o'clock in the morning, Columbia time, which I'm sometimes up, but they've got, it's perfect for them. But yeah, gold is much smoother. There's, you kind of have to be watching it to get in, but when you can get in, it's fantastic. But yeah, Banatech, I think the risk reward, particularly if you're talking about minimizing risk, when our entries are not fabulous, our chart reading is not quite there yet, our exits are we're just not that good. I think RTY is just a safer bet that is ES. But you can make quick money in ES, but oh my God, you can lose it even quicker. One I would note, and again, Adrian is not on, but he has pointed that some of these white dots that print without numbers that's a great place. Like if you were short, this is a great place that, you might want to have added to it. If you're going down, I guess. I haven't got the complete explanation, but he says, he'll holler at me, Todd, look at white dot without a number. And so it's something to file away, just watch yourselves, what you see happening on these things. All right, let me stop with that. There. All right, so we slid back. What's the, what are we doing right here?
I would have panicked and exited.
Now, let's see whose mic is flipping. Is that Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Because, well, but also, you know, those dots. So say that short-term low 3905, I think the dot didn't appear till probably 10 or 11.
Let me see if we can drag this back. Without not dragging the whole screen, I want to just drag the number. Okay. Go ahead, play, and I'm gonna get my finger on it. So you can see it in green, 30, so yeah, 3913, you know, before the dot appears. At this point, but the floating numbers, they can change on you, so you can't rely on the floating completely or at all. And it's gone up another, that was only about a half a point that time when it went up between the dot printing and the number. But sometimes there's a delay of a minute or two. So, all right. So comparing the two charts, in comparing your guys' trading style and objectives, I think Tim and I have already, we bravely admitted to the rest of you experts that we would have panicked and got the heck out of that, you know, taking our money out. Would anybody have been trading off the blue chart and say, no, this is just a fluctuation?
I wish I would have done it. Because what I've learned, it's always hard. So if you are already short, obviously, if you have had the possibility to enter, have put the stop on break even when I saw the white dot, knowing that I should look at the blue chart to wait whether this one is giving us the reverse swing. But I would have also exited after I have had more than 10 points and then see it reducing to, let's say, 8 or 7. But we should stick to it because I know that situation, it's getting further down, I guess. Or wait for the blue one. That's the answer. And that's what they're teaching us or telling us.
Yeah, I have a problem. I'm getting out even earlier than you guys.
Yeah. So.
And then I re-enter. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Don't throw me out.
No, I mean, I feel better about myself, knowing that I'm in such great company. I would love to be able to say, yeah, I'm looking at the blue, or I'll enter on the 2750, but I'm going to hang in there based on what I'm saying. So
that's it. That's how you should do it.
And the thing is, if you get in here, you can do it. It's when you get in, down here or someplace. And I mean, that's not a literal example, but when you're getting into the trade at a legitimate place, to enter, it wasn't the first spot, but it's a legit place. You're not chasing it. You're entering on a pullback. You're entering in on. You missed the 680, but you get in here. It's easier when you got in here. It's easier to absorb that pullback than when you got in here, because you got less profit to give up without saying, "Oh my God, I'm losing it all. I shouldn't have bet in ES. They told me not to." So yeah.
But also you've got that 225 reading as well, which is far in excess of the 135. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would have panicked me.
True.
So when did you was there an algo at 3920 or something? Was there one of their lines, and so it sort of tested it, and then went back to test it again or something. I'm not sure.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, and that's sometimes, and I always forget to do this. It's because the algo lines are not on these screens. You have to go back. But yeah, that is something you do got to kind of keep an eye on. Keep an eye for where they have the algo lines. Some of you guys use, they don't like us to talk about other systems and stuff. However, it's an open secret that a lot of us use, Rocket Scooter or Spot Gamma or Trade to Win or other ones. And some of these lines do overlap. Whether you're calling it an institutional support line or a put wall or a call wall, the guys who write the algos are writing them at these certain levels for reasons. And so I'll look at 2 or 3 of the different lines as well as the algo lines and just see is this something I expect to see it, traction to, and that may be kind of where their little dotted lines are coming to play.
Yeah, Tim, you see?
What an idiot, eh?
I wish I could say I have seen it, but I haven't.
But then look, then you panic because it goes back up.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So you miss, you sell out, you go, oh crap, you get back in, and then it comes back, and all of a sudden you've stopped yourself out and you've lost 6-8 points by trying to quickly over manipulate the trade. And that's, you may be a stronger man than me. Well, I'm sure you are a stronger man than me, but that's why I lose my discipline, and it just happens and happens and happens. And in all honesty, it's a terrible temptation. It's a horrible thing.
Oh, I do the same. That's why I haven't done this yet. I'm still trying to figure it out before I actually spend my own money, because I would be in and out about 5 times in that little W there.
Was this the one where it kicked off the rally? I can't remember now, because I remember at the time it not being really obvious from the numbers, and you had to look at a pattern.
Yeah, I don't remember either. This is some Tuesday.
What I find confusing is that just what you said. Sometimes you're looking for a pattern. Sometimes you're looking for smaller, greater, smaller, bigger, smaller, greater. Sometimes you're looking at the red numbers. Sometimes you're, looking for the trend line. And that's where I just sort of get a little bit caught up, I guess, in everything and trying to figure out what am I looking for here. I would almost like the book map chart to be center on this screen with the algo lines in it, and then these other charts around it. And so then you're not constantly looking for 2 to 3 screens, or, is there an algo here? You can just quickly reference it off the Zoom call.
I agree. I agree with you on the algo lines. The danger, and I do agree with Gene, the danger of a book map is that you start seeing every little move, and if you're prone to freaking out, obviously we all would have gone long here on 629. It goes without saying, or not. would we have gone long on the 629? It's less than 653. It looks like the orange numbers are getting bigger, and the orange numbers are bigger than the pink numbers on top. I guess we would have. Did anyone else read that? Would anyone, I mean, would people have gone long there?
No, honestly speaking, I would have been already short and tried to stay short and would have been kicked out. And it took me exactly on that trade out on the break-even stop at 3,924.
Okay.
I got long on that trade. I remember this exact setup, and I wouldn't stay short because I looked at the blue chart, and the blue chart then ran. I think it was kind of running out of gas. I think exhausted, and so I had a friend of mine. I was kind of walking him through this trade. I told him it's going to come down. It's going to retrace back up a little bit, and then once it print again, back at 629 print again, that would have been my entry point, and that's the entry I took as far as when it broke the top of that 619 price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, due to the fact that we're all different, I guess what I've seen telling them or saying them to us is that first of everything, it should be a pattern. After the pattern, we should look at the numbers, and then we should look at the algo lines. And that's how I try to take it now. So first start with a pattern and then go for numbers, then go for lines. Because I think everybody is different and we could get the most out of it if we do find, let's say, a common sense, what every time works. That would be nice to have.
Yes.
Even only one bloody setup we are looking at, yeah? Only one, because obviously if we are then going in big, and there have been already every day 1 or 2 great setups where you should have gone in with 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever micros or minis or what your account is made for. And I found it hard not to pull the trigger. That's my biggest obstacle.
Good morning, Chris and guys. This is Patty. I think you hit it right on the nose. Can you hear me? I'm in headphones.
Mhm.
We can.
Okay, you cannot hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. I think you just hit that right smack on the head. So I'm trying to get taxes done and everything this week. And all I had up was my simple little charts that were 2750 and, trying to match this up as possible. And I would look up and that's what I can hear. Jean's voice saying, look for the patterns, look for the patterns, look for the patterns. So that's what was so open in awe to me. I could see patterns everywhere. So that is key to me. That's what I learned this week, just sitting on the sidelines, trying to get things done. And when I look at that ES 250, anticipating what if, what not, I'm seeing a head and shoulders go. So because so much back and forth, it would be very hard for me to jump in on that 629 dot going north. Of course, after you see it breaking that trend line, right?
Yeah.
So just straight price action there, because it looked like a head and shoulders to me starting. So I'm big on patterns right now. Just my 2 cents.
So yeah, Pat, I appreciate it. So, and actually, Pat, I'd seen that you had jumped on earlier, and I was gonna give you a shout out to feel free to mark up our charts, because I think you're the only person who can actually write on this. But after the fact, Gene came through and he drew the trend line, and they said, see, this is, and presumably he would have said, this is where you come in, right, when I broke the trend line. My trend line probably would be higher because of this white dot. I would not have drawn the trend line down there. I just wouldn't have. Now, if I was doing it after the fact, well, of course I would. But in truth, my trend line would have gone over here someplace. This white dot to that white dot to through the 114, and it would have been 8 points higher than here. I do think it's good if we have whatever other chart that we've got, if we can be drawing these trend lines just live through the day. Gene's best friend forever, Tom B, does say some smart things. And one of the things he says is you want to just be narrating the action, just talking to yourself throughout the whole day. What's it doing? What's it going to happen? And be drawing these. So that when, Patty, when it comes through, you say, yeah, it's breaking a trend line, because I've got that trend line already drawn. I do it. So I don't do this faithfully. I should, but I don't.
Can you tell me what day this is? Is this yesterday's or is this?
No, I wanted to do yesterday's,
Oh,
but I found out I am too old for technology, and on weekends I don't have. I feel bad about having my paralegal, who's really should get hazard pay having to work with me.
This is Thursday.
Sometimes I get her to set this stuff up for me, and she just laughs. And she's, I'll do it. That's fine.
Isn't the date stating above?
It's the 10th. Yeah, this is the 10th.
Yeah, that's Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me guess, Todd. It's Tuesday.
I think so. You recognize the charts because you remember. You remember.
I'm just looking at Trading View. It looks like Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Tuesday. It's up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, it was Tuesday. I wanted to do yesterday's, but I messed that up. In my recording, I only got like this part of the screen. I didn't get all of it. Okay, it comes up here, 619, 150, 74, 115. What are we doing?
You should hold.
Okay. If we were following the blue, did we bail out, or are we still, what are those, what they used to call it, diamond hands or something? Would we, if we were following the blue charts, would we have gotten out down here? I mean, I would have. I don't know if I should have, but I would have.
So we just said, Todd, that we entered at 629, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. So at 3910 would be when the trend line broke. That would be the perfect entry in hindsight.
Yeah, in hindsight.
Yeah, we have seen a double bottom, maybe. We have seen the red numbers getting bigger, so pressure from below. We have seen a nice divergence between 74 and 300, whatever, on pink to red. So everything is pointing to the top. And we have this, Paddy just drew the trend line, which was broken. So we are now long at 39. Let's call it 3915.
That and 39, Patty, thanks for drawing that. Yeah, 3915 gives us a good.
The long.
Yeah, we're long. All right.
Okay, and half of us would have gone out because of the white dot.
I'm gonna wait to see what happens before I tell you which half I'm in. But,
Well, how much points are you looking to get per trade?
so that was, I mean, if you got in
Yeah.
at 3915, it's peaked out at 3925.
Right.
I
And
had,
so my perspective, because we're asking these questions, is get my first runner, and if I got missed another opportunity until I get better, right? Because I'm happy with $250, tick, 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 that way. That was one of the things I picked up from Gene, right? What is my objective? I'm looking for 7-point trade. Which one of these charts gives me a reliable 7-point trade? And then I start focusing my plan around there. These numbers that I see, this is Patty, I know we're all talking the same thing, that we're looking at a lot of charts, and I have bad ADHD, not treated. So I have to be careful with that. So I'm looking, where's my 5 to 7 point setup? Do I see it? When I see this going north, how much points are on that upside, right? Because we're going to come up against resistance. It might pop through. What time of day is it? So that's where I start. What if, what not kind of situation.
yeah, I will. I mean, if you guys don't, I mean, you should, formulate a written trading plan. I mean, mine is under revision. I'm kind of trying to adopt this system, but traditionally, I would have gone in with a multiple of 5. Would have got, well, but those could be micros. I would have gotten 2 out at 3 points, 2 out at 5 points, and left a runner and I'd be happy with 7 and ecstatic at 10.
You
And if
see
it-
the anticipation of those dots coming up. That's how I use those dots, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect much anything beyond where those dots are. The roll.
Target there. If we caught a couple of 5 or 7 point runs, yeah, I'd be happy.
We're paying off the mortgage. Mhm.
You see this 585 that was just generated.
Mhm.
So let's say you got out at whatever point 619 was generated.
Yeah.
Would you have got back in on 585? Because I wouldn't. In
Okay.
fact, I missed this move from what I remember.
Yeah, so we'll ignore this. So I think you've got. Is somebody else weigh in? What would someone else have done?
I would be in right now because of the confluence I see. The top one, the far right one, look at the buying. Now, I'm not even looking at Bookmap this week at all, but look how aggressive the buying is on that footprint chart, right? New buying is going up green, right? As it was just that because you hit play. So I saw that green. I see the ATR chart down in the bottom, right? It's growing aggressively. Looking back, it's hard to tell, right? Because these things are volume based, moving quickly. And I'm seeing the numbers go. And then I see green. This
Which
is my
numbers on the ATR
ADD.
chart?
Say that one more time.
Which numbers on the ATR?
Because I'm seeing a forceful green. I'm not looking at the numbers yet, except for as soon as it broke this trend right here. Like watch push play now and just kind of see and note the footprint chart and the ATR chart in the purple. Watch how aggressive they get.
All right, we'll go again.
So one, you're anticipating. Right now. This looks like we're almost close to higher day, right? I see like a flag kind of going on the footprint chart, and we're getting close to it. Are we going to break it, or is it going to fall back down? Well, this is 11:30 my time, so I'm expecting lunch, right, Mountain Time. But soon as this starts going aggressive, is where I would hit with my 5. So I play a 5 that will do 4 points. I'm sorry, 4 contracts at 1 tick and a runner is what I do. But I would be hit it, mark it. Okay, push play.
Yes, ma'am. Well, let me go back to the
Okay.
it was Chris. Would we have gone if we got out at 619? Would you come back in at 585? And if you want to say this is, I mean, it's up, it's a pullback up. The orange is much bigger than the pink. I can't remember those exactly, but that's 2 digits, and this one starts with a 3. And
Because
so-
we're adding up 3 rather than just comparing, for example, the pink 160 to the beneath. Is it 109? I can't quite see.
I think it's a 109.
Yeah.
So this one may be less than that, but the
But in
combination,
totality.
the tally of the 3, and this is,
Yeah.
I mean, Vanatech is make this, which is it? And that's the problem is you can rationalize this however you want to. If you don't want to get in, you're gonna say, no, I'm not getting back in because look, this doesn't match. But the sum of these oranges is greater than the sum of the pinks. Even though 653, 625, it's weak. This is weakening on the whites. And I think we would have just taken out the initial balance high. So Don would have been packing up for the day and sending me a message like he does, says, I'm out green. Don't lose your money, Todd.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
but
questions you ask yourself at time of day, is this time, and I'm talking ES, is this time for ES to have the turnaround? Or are we still kind of holding on the north, right? We're kind of still going up. So is this where we get in back long again? Right, because even this one, right, look at, we're up. Unless the anticipation, right, because around 11:30, market churns. on ES. It pops back down to VWAP somewhere or some mid. Look at how it pops up there. So it's all single. Watching that footprint chart, you could see when they're just single prints going up, and then it turns darker green. And just when I see it, because you know we are looking at so many things, and then we just popped high a day.
But one could also say that this is a cup and handle, or a cup and handle pattern over there.
Yes.
And the 3-time breakup from 3925. And this is a breakout trade, which you could have entered with the limit buy at 3925 in hindsight. And obviously, if we went long down at the bottom, close to 10 o'clock, because of the 629, and put the stop on break even, and then only look on the blue chart, that would have given us a wonderful trade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could have.
But that's looking at that chart right now for another 2 months to know.
Yes.
So that's very, Gene says that too, right? And to me, look at this 2750 is too choppy, and it might be too choppy for the most of us to play, right? Because it's going fast.
Gene has told me privately that he uses a 3750. This is the time frame that he uses on the yes. So ideally, long, scale out, load back up, scale out, and then, you know, probably scale a bit out up here as well. Because we know it swings back and forth. And that's the good and bad of it. And it's why we shouldn't chase, because there's going to be lots more opportunities.
Oh, yes. Especially, I'm seeing that more and more right now. I was kind of excited almost just on the background. And then my charts are there and I'm like, there it is. I could see it. It's right there. People have been telling me that for 6 years.
Right, so the blue then, we get 1161 was higher than the 1110. You have the greater into lesser into greater. And so that's, I mean, that is something that Gene has said. And I mean, this would be arguably, you know, 3 touches off of a trend line. For me, that pattern, if you look to see if it break, but I would expect for it to bounce down, pattern speaking, if I had drawn, you know, through this ways.
But would you have shorted though? Because we're on an uptrend. I wouldn't.
So I have my personal trading demon, my confirmation bias is I'm always looking for it to revert to the mean.
Right.
And again, I need to have Tom be exercised from me. So then send a priest my way, please do so. I will just be itching to go to revert, to enter a trade to revert to the mean. It is my personality, and it's sometimes it works, but a lot of times it does not. And so I have to very consciously try to not be doing that. It's definitely it's an uptrend, but 1161. So you get greater, lesser, greater. But the oranges are bigger than the pinks. I don't know.
If I remember correctly, I think I actually went short on this one. I could be wrong, or maybe I just saw it afterwards. Just because the blue, like the white numbers up top, like the 161 is greater than the 1079, 1140 is greater than the 1079, but then also that 1161 is also greater than the and sorry, I'm saying the numbers wrong, but 1000, 110 as well. So to me, that would be an A plus setup underneath that trend line that was drawn on the 27.
And that would have got you at least 20, 25 points.
Yeah, if you held.
Yeah.
Again,
Hindsight trading's great.
I would have had one. I'd have one left in maybe.
But those are the number combinations that I look for the most, to be honest with you. I look for, like the higher, lower, higher on the whites or the pinks. And then also that last one also being basically higher than the one underneath it for that ABC triangle pattern.
And so that short was the 619, 630, 624. So the lower, higher, lower. Is that why that was a short?
Say it again, Tim.
For the ES chart there, then that short at so that long leg we just did from 624 down 30 to 624, or why would that have been a short?
no, looking at the blue chart, that was the master giving us the signal short.
Okay.
So this was 1140. You can't see it anymore, but this was 1140. So greater into smaller into greater. And although it's kind of trending up, again, this is my sort of numerical reverse head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. It's strong, a little bit lower numerically, and rebounding again. And Charlie then was comparing, was comparing 1161 to the 1110. So he's got the greater, lesser, greater. That's a strong signal for the gene, as well as this here, stronger compared to the opposite number.
Okay, so you don't need to see it on both charts.
Well, it depends what your time frame is. I mean, if you were, I think your blood pressure is lower following the 8,500. But you've got to, if you had gone short at 1079, you've got to be willing to watch, because come down and, come all the way back up, into this range and have given up a good chunk of your profits if you had not taken them all, if you hadn't taken them already. And so that's, that's the thing, if you're on this chart, if you're on the 2750, ideally we would have shorted 630, but that's it. I mean, this is at 39.35, somewhere up in there. This is down here is 39.20. I personally, I'd have been completely out. I'd have been out. I might have shorted again here. Yeah, honestly.
No, you wouldn't, Todd. You would have counted money. But what I found interesting, Todd, what you just said in the previous chart, we were summarizing to sum up the pink numbers, right? And now at the blue chart, we are not summing up, or can I say summing? No, we are not sum up the charts, the numbers. So 177 and 108 and 40. We see now that let's call it the volume delta is getting down. Since the numbers are getting down. And in the last setup, we were sum up the pink and sum up the red numbers. So I found it hard. In hindsight, obviously, this could be right because the numbers are that way, but I wouldn't have taken it since I haven't seen it, to be honest.
it does go back to, you can, if the, if the pattern, if it's a pattern that you're looking for, and I traditionally would have looked at 3 touches off of a trend line. You know, Techie Girl and I go way back. And this has been one of our patterns that we've talked about for ages, is, you know, the 3rd touch on a trend line. I think it goes back to the Al Brooks courses or something. But, you know, this would have been a pattern for me. And then you just look, quite frankly, you just look at any combination of numbers for some sort of confluence. You know, in the first week of December or the last part of November, when they were teasing us with all of this nonsense, and they say, you know, you look at, is the 630 greater than 619? If it is, you go short. Well, it's all a lot more complicated than that. But you've got a lot of flexibility on your numbers on what you're looking at, and you know,
yeah. And to me, like, the longer time frame ones basically trump the shorter time frame ones. So, you know, the ES blue chart, you know, if that one gives you an A+, you take it every single time, in my opinion. But I mean, that might come back to bite me or stop me out. And then you're also seeing that same kind of A+ on the longer term RTY chart as well, the purple in the very upper left hand corner as well. So it's given you that, what I would consider an A+ short, you know, the white being the higher, lower, higher, with the 192 also being greater than the 191 below it.
Yeah. Thoughts on the 665?
Yeah, now he's telling us there's going to be a Head and Shoulders. I guess this was the case, wasn't it?
Right, for it to break that trend line right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would suggest going back up because of the strength of the 665. Is it 47? I can't quite read, or 237. I can't see.
This year, it's 3 digits. I don't know what they are. I can't read the orange very well. I'm squinting away. But it's greater. The orange is greater than the pink, for sure.
Yeah, so right there, and my eyes drifted straight for the ATR chart before you paused it. So I noticed that you know, there was a double bottom and a double top. So I was just like, all right, if it breaks one of those, that's going to be the direction it continues. That's where my eyes went.
Okay, so Charlie, walk us through. Do you want me to back up a little bit, or can you walk us through it again? What you're referring to exactly?
Well, I mean, yeah,
double bottom, double top.
Yep, exactly. So I mean, so the blue chart's still saying short, obviously, right? And the 2750 is kind of going, you know, back and forth. So like, I don't know why, like, but that one just, yeah, it gives me headaches. So for me, like, I went straight to the blue chart, just giving me my confirmation down, at least as of now. My eyes switched down to the purple chart because I'm seeing the 2750 print both high and low up there for white dots. But I was looking at, you know, this down here, the tick chart, it was kind of showing, you know, a double bottom, and then it showed double top, and then it was in between. And I was like, all right, so if it's going to break one of these, I'm definitely going to, like, if it breaks the green upwards, I'm probably going to exit my short at that time. I mean, that's probably not the best trade. I'm at least going to take, if it continues down, that's great. I'm going to continue to hold. That was that's just what was in my head at the time. Whether that's right or wrong, I have no idea. I'm still learning.
Well, again, that's where we all are. So what would have been in people's heads? It's come down from 39.35 down 3,900-ish. Okay, so it's dropped 35 points in the last hour. You weren't in, you were, you were taking the kids to school, you were talking to your secretary, whatever. If I wanted to beat up on Charlie, I'd say he was chasing the chickens, but I'm not going to channel my inner Gene and Julian. Would people have try to get in here at the 644?
To reshort, I wouldn't.
Short.
It doesn't look strong enough.
I wouldn't say, I mean, if you're trading off the blue and then just looking for entries off the 2750, you might be able to do that. I wouldn't have though, just because at least to me on the 2750, I'm not seeing a number combination that at least for me makes me feel comfortable on going short.
Don't you have the bigger, smaller, bigger set up there? 630, 624, 644?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but I also like to have the 644 be greater than the 665 down below. But that's just me and my weird. I don't know if that's a legit thing, but I remember that from one of the trainings. And maybe that just gives it extra confluence. I don't know. But so that's in my head. And so I can't get it out.
No, two confluences is better than one confluence, but I raised,
for sure.
I think this is where a lot of us, if for some reason, or if this had started at 8 o'clock in the morning, rather than starting at 10:15. And so we're turning on the computers, we're just getting on the Zoom call, and the price is in here, and they're going, holy smokes, those damn Europeans, they've made all the money while we were sleeping. Is there an entry? And I would have looked at this. I don't know what I would have done. But this is where, let's be honest. If we had been watching the whole way, we missed it. This is something, and it can be a pitfall. Maybe it would have been good. I don't know. I don't remember what happens from here, but it's one of those temptation zones, like an algo line. And we're gonna bump into them.
Yeah, and you also have to kind of remember that, you're getting close to that kind of psychological 3,900 level that can sometimes give bounces.
All right, let's. So I have not been in ES this week at all. And although I've recorded these, I was waiting for the weekend to review them. I had a heavy week with other issues. So I'm curious to see.
So that actually would have been a good short then off of the white numbers, the way it's playing out.
Yeah. So probably what I would try to file away mentally in terms of trade management, if you're getting into something well through a move, your objectives probably need to be more limited.
Right.
Don't stop, but you're looking for 5 points rather than 15. If you got it up here, you could arguably think, well, depending on if you're looking at a long-term chart, what things would have been. But
Well, no, I didn't even notice this. I just saw it, but from that last short up top, like if you look at the ATR chart, like the pink numbers like 9,300 or 9,800. So it's a huge number on the ATR chart in the lower left-hand corner. Up top, that indicated the short. And now, I mean, it looks long, but yeah.
Then it explodes back.
Yeah, thanks for that, Charlie.
There ever was.
No, I think I am.
I think there might have been news actually on Tuesday around that time.
And we now exactly know how big our position should have been.
Yes, right. I would have taken money out of the kids' college funds.
For that trade.
Yeah, okay. Now, hopefully this is Gene is messing this up, not me.
I think that was a news day though, and I think something because there was a huge pile of red volume, but then we retraced it right back up, which is usually what happens with news, or not quite all the way, but almost.
What?
That was the big V day. I remember that news.
It was so there's, it must have been, I don't know if Powell was speaking someplace, because normally you're going to get a.
Oh, he was in Sweden.
Is
Do
that
you remember?
Yeah, he went to Sweden, and maybe that's what
It was a press release of his notes
Yeah.
15 minutes beforehand, which was basically nothing.
Got it.
Which is, I think, why it was hammered down, but then came back up because there was nothing. Yeah. It's interesting to see the system working though, even on those press days where apparently, everybody's trying to guess what's going on.
Well, Julian has said, ignore the news. News doesn't drive the markets, which I respectfully disagree with my nephew on this one. But the numbers and stuff, I mean, it does process it correctly. I personally, I get out a couple of minutes before, the price numbers, the CPI, the farm payroll, that kind of stuff, just because, for every time that I make a bunch, there's 3 times where I just get killed. So, I'll get stopped out and,
But on this example, we could wonderfully see that the red numbers, if we sum them up, they're really high. So 420, 417, and now 600.
yeah. This is,
Yep.
this
So
would
to
have
me,
been,
that,
yeah.
I was going to say, to me, that's an A+ trade setup using the red instead of the white. So again, you have the higher, lower, higher with the 615 or whatever it is, much greater than the 54 up top.
Right.
Watch what happens, right? So what you have at the back of mind is, when am I exiting my trade? Say I'm in at 3,900. When do I exit?
3905.
I love it, Todd. Yeah, right.
Listen, I'm a lawyer. I cannot lie. You guys know, in all of the world, lawyers.
Excuse me. What you just said?
Ideally, and now, geez, I hope this is the. Ideally, let me see if I can drag back.
And I'm remembering this day now, because like if you look at RTY now, like it was in just a clear channel. Like the if you line up like a trend line with the whites, I mean, they're almost, it's almost perfect, down below and up top. And it trades into it. And I think it eventually goes up above. But it was great if you're just doing RTY and not ES.
I think in terms of the targets, I mean, arguably the volume here, where this had previously been drawn as a trend line, would be a target. These would be targets. Realistically, I would definitely have scaled out some at this high here, at this pivot point around 39.10. Absolutely would have. And I probably would have, in all honesty, I probably would have gotten out apart at 39.05 and moved my stop to just ahead of, a tick ahead of break even.
But these are those 1 or AAA plus setups, which
Oh.
we should look at, because we have so much confluences there. If we are going to start with the red numbers, that shows that we should take along. We do have the divergence with the red to the pink numbers, and we do even have the divergence greater, smaller, greater with the ABC setups on the white numbers. So this is nearly everything showing us that this is going to be a bounce, and we do have the 3,900. But I wonder why we haven't taken it, all of us, with whatever lots.
Oh, I would have went long on this if I would have saw it, for sure. No,
I
like,
love it.
for real. Just like this is like, I mean, just because this is basically the setup that I'm looking for the most out of all of them, and even RTY is showing was showing the same long off that, and it was like the perfect trend line. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if I took the trade on this one. Because I think at this time I was looking at RTY and not necessarily ES. But it was basically right off that trend line was beautiful, like with the reds, the higher, lower, higher, and then the 72 greater than the 11. I mean, it was beautiful on both RTY and ES at that point. Like this, I think this is like those, 1,000,000% trades that they jokingly say every once in a while, that they look for.
So here, look, the white numbers are in balance. So you'd be inclined to pull off here and wait.
Yeah, if you're on ES, I mean, you're at that trend line that they already drew. You're seeing kind of a short, like I would be flat right here. I would be waiting for either a move up or a move down.
Yeah.
Personally.
With the 15-point gain, you'd have been happy. I'd be happy.
Oh yeah. I'd be ecstatic.
Would anyone, where's my pause? Okay. If you're looking, so Charlie says he'd be looking to see which way it's going to go. Would anybody be channeling me and saying I'm going to go short? Or are you still waiting? And tell me the truth. The whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yeah, I would have been trying to go short like a dummy.
I think
I mean, that's my problem.
Well, you get greater, lesser, greater. You do have these are the orange numbers are still way bigger than the pinks.
But Todd, can we take those 3 numbers? Because if we're taking the last 3 numbers, you'll have to take 644.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. I was staring at the top so much I ignored the bottom. Another problem. So yeah,
we have seen this before actually, where the number is like 624, then it's 644, which is greater, and then 661, which is greater. And I'm not sure what to do with that, because I have seen that before, where they just sort of keep getting larger incrementally.
that is correct. That he will, and again, he will say so that's increasing strength. And so that is one of, he likes the greater, smaller, greater, but he also does like the greater, greater, greatest scenario as well.
I was looking at the lower 60, 54, 281 or whatever. The purplish colored ones on the top.
These ones, 230.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where, I miscounted them because I skipped the 54 and cherry picked the 114 and 60, which are heavier. But again, I think this would be the question. I think some people, it's whether or not we're going to try to jump in on a short. If we think it's going to come back down, would we be trying to jump in early on this, or how long would we be waiting? Keeping in mind that this PQ3 And these down here, 39.15, you know, 7, 8 point swings there. And so looking at it real time on your regular charts, that's, you know, that's a movement. It's come up, a little bit higher, lower high, and I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah, I think I would just still be waiting, I think.
Yeah.
Would be the prudent.
Todd, look at the blue chart. Excuse me.
Yes,
Can I ask a question? Did I screw this up or are we like zoomed in?
I know it's
Okay, it's
Somebody.
zoomed in, right? Okay.
yeah.
Somebody.
And I don't think that I did that. Only because in all honesty, I've got this going on a different computer in a different room because sometimes I'll share the video recordings but I'll be on the telephone. And so I wasn't touching the computer that I was using to record. Although this may be screwing with me, and he would quickly flash my bio page from my law firm website, which he found to be extraordinarily amusing and me less so. But I don't think I did anything about that except told him to knock it off.
Maybe you can move a little bit forward and we see whether
Yeah,
the Zoom is still there.
Yeah, okay, let's. Okay, well, we're gonna be looking at ES 2750. And we can look at RTY. All right.
Todd, just one second, because this yellow dot occurs. I've seen this 2 days now, or 3 days. These are brand new. They haven't been there before.
I don't know what it is.
Good eye. I've never seen them. I guess my chart has never been big enough.
Again,
Notice.
They are brand new.
You weren't zoomed in, Charlie. You got I don't know what they signify.
It's a new secret for us.
All right, I'm gonna make
It's the golden egg.
there you go. All right, I'm taking a screenshot. I'm gonna afterwards, I'll put a copy. Would we have gone short? And presumably broke some kind of a trend line down here. So I probably would have gone short. I might have gone short here. It got stopped out there. But I probably would have gone short.
I would have just been watching. I mean, you could say that, I mean, it was like a quadruple top rejection or and bottom, and then it finally broke the bottom. So you could have got 5 points out of it or so, but I'm not seeing a number combination that would make me feel comfortable going short.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it would likely have been an error on my part, but candidly.
And I know on RTY, like I was looking at that, like if you line up the white dots, like I was looking for a short up there, even though I knew most likely there's not going to be a number combination I truly liked, because I was looking for, I see the whites are smaller, greater, so it wouldn't give me that higher, lower, higher, but I was looking at the pinks. So I was looking at like 51 is greater than 11. It's like 11 is going to be but I was like, for me, it's going to have to pop up a number greater than 72 at the bottom. And I knew that was not likely, but I was still looking short algo line or resistance, whatever you want to call it, that little yellow dot up above. So I was looking for a short up there. I don't know if it actually transpired or not.
And that's the thing. I mean, I think we all know, most of us, we're kind of guessing, and they tell us to be thinking ahead. And so we are looking at, is this going to go short? Is this going to go long? Just, you know, let's admit, we all do it. Would this, I mean, would this have been the 654? Would that have been inspiring?
What you guys have to do there is to draw a line to 661, 664, and then draw a line 662 to 662. No, first draw a resistance line 661 to 665. Okay.
Addie, are you there?
There?
Yeah, I mean, draw a line 661 to 664.
661 to 664, so up top here.
Like that. Okay.
No.
Or do you want it?
No. Support in the
664.
661 to 664 to the right.
You mean 654?
Two white tops.
There. Okay.
Exactly. If breaks, you will go long with that.
Would anybody have gone short at 654?
No.
Yeah, well, probably many people did, but
Yeah.
the thing is that you have to also use those white bottom and 622 and 658 and draw a line.
Yeah.
Again,
Well, so
you
now,
have a channel. You have a channel there. Draw it.
right. So you can draw a trend line, but you would probably wait for the channel to break. Where? Here?
You know.
No.
There go. I will go there because it's the Hinkiashi rule I explained you. Remember?
Uh-huh. Oh, is this Adrian?
Eh?
Louis, what is this? I thought it was Chris for a second, but
Can
This
you
one?
elaborate on the Higanashi rule, please?
all right, let's put on pause. Give us a tutorial on the HA campus. Adrian?
Sorry, it's because I'm not home, so I muted to not to have noise because we're going to the via dawn. So can you repeat what you said because I didn't hear? Sorry.
What I'm going to repeat is what I told you last night, which is you're supposed to be taking the morning off with the girls. However, I will also repeat, since you're not listening to my advice, can you explain for everyone quickly the Heikki Ashi candles and what you were talking about when they change over?
Okay, if you take a look really fast, Hinkiashi is a way to take the candles to read it better than time frame or whatever. The Hinkiashi in terms of volume or terms or tick are stronger to be written than just time frame. Okay, if you see Jean uses time frame volume or ticks Hinkiashi, and you can watch on YouTube how it works, but technically the tails are pointing north. It means the market it's long. When they're pointing south, it means market is short or big hands are short or in control. And when you have tails north and south, it's indecision into the market. So you have to know the break line of the trend that Jean always is telling you. What I do is, it's based on what I've learned, is that when the candle has one or two full bodies above or below the break line is where big hands are in control. So you follow them really fast. That's it. I explained that to Gold yesterday, I think, or DJ. He understood, and he's trying to put it in to work right now.
So
you're an expert now using Hinkiashi. So you can.
On these, you don't really see the tails as much, but the gray would just be. Hola, Sienna. they point in the direction that it's going. Okay, so what Adrian is saying, trying to find an example here. These gray ones in here, they're red because it's coming down, but there's tails above and below. Those are really indecision candles. So yeah, it's going red, but not decisively so. So Adrian said it's coming down. You've got these indecision candles, and then you've got a strong up, a strong up. You come in here, you get a third strong up, and it's breaking a trend line there. So that's how you'd interpret those. Most of your charting software or your wherever you trade off of, you can set your candles to Hanky Ashley, and I think they're helpful.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
So, you get your indecision candle, tails either side. This is forming as more of a down candle. You don't want to, you want to avoid the urge to jump in too quickly. That, just one down candle doesn't provide confluence sufficiently, unless you're a scalper, which we are not.
Adrian, is there a number of Heikin-Ashi candles you are watching? Because only 2 solid up moves Heikin-Ashi candles would.
Okay, if you listen what I said, you have to wait for the breaking and 2 candles. It didn't happen. It just in what it's going there, it broke. It was when only Heikin-Ashi, you see, and the second didn't appear. Appear red with tail north, with tail south, so you don't enter. It's not, you don't have your confirmation.
So, Adrian, we're talking about here, you're saying you would have needed, this would have had to come above.
Put the mouse a little bit in the right, in the other way, where the break exactly there. You will be to go along there, but you had only one full body, then you have indecision body, so you don't go long.
Did you say we need 2 full bodies?
Two full bodies to confirm the hands are in control, and you didn't have it, so you don't go long.
Well, okay, but Adrian, would this be a body? This is a full body, and this is a full body. So this would be your third full body. But you're saying you would start counting after it breaks the trend line.
Exactly, always in the breakdown, always after the breakdown of the line trend, because it's where they have to kill the oppositors. So if you're going along before, well, in this example, right? Not like other things, like exactly in this one with the break of the trend line. Once it breaks the trend line, where is the resistance, the sellers in this case fighting. Once they're broken, you will see normally 2 full bodies with long tail pointing north, and it's really rare that the stop catches you because now big hands are in control, so the price won't come back.
So let me okay. That's right. I was going to say what's the trend line, but the trend line would have to be across the top. All right. Does that make sense to people, or more questions for Adrian on that?
I have one question. So since another white dot appeared afterwards, do you then adjust the trend line to basically where the 161 and or 661 and 652 are, or do you keep it where it's at?
I will keep this one like this because 61 and 64 are stronger, so I will keep it this way.
All right, thank you.
Yes, like Jim said once, we have to be creative. If we see the new white dot, it's in an area that it's drawing a nice trend on a nice flag, we should not ignore it, right? Because many of the things that when you look at patterns in the books, the patterns look certain way, but in real life, no. And the thing is that just as minimal, yeah, Bobo, you have to aquí, you have come despacito. Sí, mi amor, despacito. Sorry, guys. Okay. You have to be creative in the way you're drawing your trend lines. What does it mean? That never there will be symmetric, identical, and perfect. Never. So you have to to play with your trend lines and your draws. But the really nice thing is that the crosses and the white dots are giving you exactly the support and resistance where pressure and money is coming, right? Do you understand, guys?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
So what I'll do there, it's if you take a look, this is something is getting built here. We don't know yet what it is, but we can know they are building a flag or a channel, and sometimes it takes 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, 3 hours to build it. So when the big hands accumulate long or short positions, what they need for their strategy, that this is what they're doing. Going up, going down, going up, going down. They're testing how strong they need to break in the opposite side. They're making all these tests all the time to know where to take the mark. So it's really probable that if you cannot break that trend line, look exactly. And did you see a blue line there, right? I'm pretty sure Jean drew that white blue line, right?
Yeah.
There is a blue line over. Okay, that's probable. An algorithm really strong. So you have to pay attention to that. What happened? The price went to 39.21 and rebound south. Why? Because it was an algo, and it was a really important algo that Jean wrote there for us to understand. And remember, the algos have the way they work is that they break and react, or they rebound, no? So if you have the trend line, if you see that the price is going above that algo and making a little bit of Hinkiashi to bodies, you go long. Of course, the Hinkiashi will be different if the frame is smaller, right? If you go in 1000 and 1750 with the blue chart, actually what I do is to draw these lines I'm showing you, but in the blue line. The blue chart for me is the most important. I don't follow the black one. Yes, I take a look on it, but the most important for me is the blue one. I don't use the black one. It makes me struggle a little bit, but the blue one, just catch the direction, just catch the trends, that's it. Just see the numbers, and I don't read the black one almost, just barely, like to see what's going on, but it's not my fault. Look, it's going to touch the algorithm again, the horizontal line. You just have to be patient, and now you can draw a line also. 622, 655, 657, you can draw a line there. 68, 655 to 657.
Oh, so like an angle.
Yeah, and what will happen if the algo cannot be broken? It's really probable that the price will come back. Exactly there, you have to draw a trend line.
Oh, Patty.
I'm coming.
You see? Boom.
This is key right here. They just broke it and go.
That can happen.
It might just go.
That can happen, yes. Because the important part there is the algo, right?
So, Adrian, we had you got the numbers down here. The oranges are greater than the pinks, I believe. When it broke this trend line, then for you had the indecision candle. This is an indecision. This is kind of a full body. This is more of a full body. That's definitely a full body. You would have got it somewhere here, or
yes,
you,
yes.
because it's an algo, would you have waited to clear the algo?
I could have gone between 39 and 15, and honestly at 39.25, 10 points on yes, I'm out. I don't play with yes. Yes is a bitch to me. Like, I already could have been so happy with my 10 points in yes. It's a killer trade, honestly.
So that addresses something we were talking about before you jump on the call, is how far to shoot for. And I had said that normally, if I can get 10 points, I'm happy.
Yes.
And a lot of times we're having that conversation. So I feel better hearing it coming from someone like you as well. Although I felt good when Chris and Charlie said it too. If they said it.
So
Look here is really important, because if it can hold the algo, this price will rise.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to rise super strong. If not, it's going to rebound one more time. But it's the algo. That line, it's an algo. It's really
Yeah.
probable that if it holds, it's going to rise super strong.
There's an algo at 22 on this day.
Okay.
So here,
Yeah.
here it's really probable that price. What I think it's that I prefer to read the blue screen, but I think that it's going to rise based on what we just saw, right? That's my
That's
guess.
what I think. I'm waiting, because now I even have a good stop if it fails.
Mm.
Right.
You always
So
have to stop, because
where's your
especially
good
with
stop?
ES, ES is horrible. It's the devil himself.
So Adrian, since we have you on, and I know it's not part of this chart right here, but I was curious, like I saw that basically you're mostly trading gold and RTY. Is there like specific charts on those that you're paying attention to and some that you're maybe not paying attention to?
I trade everything. I trade ES, I trade NASDAQ, I trade gold, I trade sometimes corn. But what I do, and that's really important, I just make 2 trades, maximum 3, if I was a stop out with the ES, because ES is a bitch, trading the ES like a champ. I've never seen someone in my life like that. But he has all the technology to see where the bids and the ask are, the offer and the demand. He has technology that we don't know, honestly. It's impressive what he can see. But besides him and other few guys, with ES, you just have, and he said it last time, you just have to make 2 trades. Those 2 trades can be 7, 10, 15 points, maybe 20, but never expect nothing from a trade. It's rule number 1. And honestly, you have to listen to the 3 golden rules that he says. First, never expect nothing of a trade. If you enter into the market expecting 20 points when the market is going to give you just 7, you're wrong. Second, your exit strategy. You have to have an exit to take in profits. You have to have an exit to take your stop loss. Before you pull the trigger, you have to know exactly what's the maximum amount of money that you will lose per trade. 5 points, 3 points, 6 points. You have to know it and be happy perfectly with that. And the last one is that what is the last one? What is the last one? Don't expect nothing.
No expectations.
No expectations. Exit point. What if it's the thing that it's really true? You have to know what's going to do the market always. If go up, if go lateral, if go down. That's you what if, because that's what let you have a strategy to know where to enter. In this case, we're speculating about going long, but what if not? And if we're assuming that long, we have to have our short 2 points before the algorithm line over there. Or if it's going long, we have already where we should know already where to exit. But if you don't work with that, you will be guessing. You have to work in those 3 rules. It looks simple, but it's going to change your life once you begin using it. And what else? You see the algo is working. Is it working? It's working. Yeah, it's working. I would have loved to see the blue screen, but that's it. The power of the Henki-Ashi, guys. And in the blue one, looks even stronger. Yeah, it's a long. I'm pretty sure it's a long. And if you see, there is a double bottom in purple. So it means it's really secure to put your stop 1 point below the purple dots. Or that's what I'll do now, to have my stop there below those purple dots or crosses. And it's probably a really nice long, probably. And if not, well, you have to be happy since the beginning with that. You know, you cannot be like complaining that the market didn't go, didn't rise, didn't whatever. Super hard this market. Mande, mi amor.
And Adrian, would you be concerned that the number is 688 and it's much larger than 652? Would that bother you while it's going up or no?
Yes, but honestly, as I said, I look at that in the blue screen, because the black screen, I take a look sometimes, and of course, if the numbers are greater, it means it will come back. You can anticipate and you can draw your trend lines, right? But normally, I prefer to make the reading in the blue one, because I prefer to catch a long trend and steady and strong than a smaller.
Okay, thank you. Because that's what I've seen, but I've also seen like it'll all of a sudden go to 620 or something and it kind of wipes out. And that's what I'd be like, it's getting bigger, it's going to reverse, but then it doesn't.
Exactly. No, I prefer, and I've been telling to Todd and Hannah, it's horrible to trade short. You don't need to trade short, and Jean explained you. When some people were asking for faster charts, they don't know what they are saying. You just need to catch a right trend and follow it, because all the stops, all the algos are killers. If you're not Jean, honestly, I'm a professional trader, and I cannot trade. And I cannot trade like Jean trades as fast and take the profits like what everybody's reading, where he entered, where he exited, he's already capitalizing his profits. It's super fast. It's like a laser gun machine. It's you guys cannot trade like that, honestly. I even myself, I can't. It's super difficult. So what you have to do is to choose 2 trades per day, and that's it, especially in ES. Yes, it's created to take your money out. It's full. If you see, it's full of algos. He's identifying algos all time and putting it on the screen. So it means wherever you go, there's algos. That's why ES is so dangerous. Because it's so hard to trade. It's the most difficult market ever. It's more difficult than natural gas. It's more difficult than nickel. It's more difficult than rates. It's the most difficult market ever.
So Adrian, I think you said you would have come in maybe 6, 17, 18, 20 in here. How would you?
And
how would you?
I had 10 points. I had probable that 13, 39, 30 was another algo. So you take your partials. You don't play with ES. You enter. You have 10 points in ES. You take it. Honestly, because it's really probable that you will lose and go negative.
So we print a 705, 248. What would we? I'll stop before we get too much further. What would we be looking at here in terms of staying long or switching directions and going short?
No, man, you have 10 points on Nasdaq on ES. You take it.
But so let's say we had not been long at all. We just, we're doing whatever. And now we have no positions. Now we see it print a number, a white dot. You got 654, 652.
Draw your line, draw your trend line, bro. There are two trend lines to draw. That one and the one that goes 654, 652 to 705 on top. Exactly.
And so if this
Anticipation, you got a break.
Patient always, yes.
Go back and see, let's see. Hopefully Patty's lines will.
Oops.
Did you take?
I just took them off.
Well, let me back up a second to just where it.
And the thing here is that
Oh, that's a nice
705. Nice line. Yeah, beautiful.
Wow.
Who did that line?
And remember that you have the algos. So what I will do, try to make another line as beautiful as that. 622, 657 bottom.
Where?
622, 657 bottom. Try to make another line as beautiful that, yeah.
Like this.
Yes.
All right. So at 7:05, it has not printed a dot, but the white number has printed.
That's a red alert to me. And that's why I'm so happy taking 10 points of ES. Don't play with ES, honestly.
But
Not many people can make 10 points on ES. If you make 10 points, take it. Or take partials. Or take one. You see, Gene is always taking partial, break even, partial, break even. Because he knows the algos can take the market down 3 ATRs, 2 ATRs. It's super difficult. So honestly, you have to exit at 39.30, partial or many.
So let's say, for the sake of argument, let's say you have not been in the market. You already taken your money and you're looking for your second. This was your first trade was short over here, and you made good money. You're happy. You went, you got coffee. Now you don't have any positions. You're looking at it here. What has happened? It bounced off this algo. It came up. It's printed a 705. You've got these numbers
in the double pullback 39.20 because the algo was there.
All right, let's see what happens.
Because look, this picture you have, it's exactly the setup,
Yeah, right
super
here.
strong setup we have been discussing and teaching. Remember, double top with a confirmation on top. So the 622, 658, 657, it's a head and shoulders. And then you have the double confirmation on the algo, where the algo is. So it looks to me a strong setup. If it does not come back there, 3 points. If it's the third time it touches the algo, it's to go long. You wait. You can wait a little bit. You don't have to enter like a stupid guy immediately. Wait a little bit, especially with the take your. If manda mi amor. Chupon. Okay. One moment. You go. It's a mess because my baby speaks me in Spanish, in English, in French. So I have to be guessing what language she's speaking to me. So you see your patient there, you have to use the 3 rules. What? Repeat me the 3 rules, please. Someone fast, the 3 rules. Never, if you're making money or you're losing, it's exit. And what if this is probably the third touch, it's going to go long to me. That's what I'm reading. And if not, what if it's going to go south, but I will have my stop? That's it. Yeah, I can live perfectly with that. I don't have to be stressed. I don't have to be guessing. If works. And I know maximum, I will lose 300 or $250. That's it. It's my maximum loss per contract, and I can live happy with that. If works, I know I'm going again for my 10. And look, it's working. This is a killer setup, but I prefer to read this and the blue than in the black one. The black one, I'm not a big fan. The blue one works really, really, really nice. I prefer long terms, especially in ES. With all the algos and all the killers there, I prefer to be right than to be in a trade before time.
If you're trading Russell, which of the charts on Russell do you prefer?
The on Russell 875 and 475 ticks, exactly the numbers that Jim has is what I'm using.
Okay.
I copy his ticks, and that's what matters is what I'm explaining you here, that it's what Jim has been explaining. And look, guys, third charge in an algo, you go, I start, there is our long. I'm pretty sure it's a super setup long. And yeah, you don't have to struggle. You have to be happy. If you lose, it's fine, no problem. You have to accept it and don't make revenge trade and everything, because yes, all the algos are created psychologically to make you think you're long and then you go short. So they will trap everybody in opposite positions and destroy your accounts. Look how beautiful, you see?
So one thing, let me throw it from last Saturday. Gene was saying, look at your pattern, look for algo lines, and then look at your numbers. This screen does not have the algo lines on it. I think someone saying it was either, it's either the 20 here or 22. Someone threw that there was an algo line there I'm going to go short off of this when it breaks a trend line. Okay, but you're skipping And I would have skipped the algo line, which says, it's another thing you got to take into account. So that while you may be breaking the trend line, and while these numbers, the algo line takes precedence over just the numbers. So look at your triple bottom, look at the algo lines, and then look at the numbers. And so while the numbers might say go short here, it probably would not have been a great one if you were trying to get in when it broke the trend line or on an indecision, full body, you get in here, it didn't go anywhere, you would have got stopped out.
And that's the thing, you have to have patience. And if you're watching that Gene draw an algo line, you have to pay attention to it because it's full of algos. But when he draws an algo, he's not telling you go long, go short. He's telling you, he knows what the habit has to do to the market go long. They have to defeat some people below, defeat some people above, and then they will have the free way to go where they want. When Gene drew that line, he was telling us, look guys, if price can go here, many people maybe thought it's going to touch it and go short. But look what the market was doing. Look, what a beautiful long, guys. There it is. Beautiful. But it's clear, honestly, it was clear. It's the head and shoulders below. Pay attention always. Always. That's one of the most important setups ever. I also remember I drew it and I sent it to you guys like 2 weeks ago. It's exactly the same setup. I don't know if you remember. I drew it in a paper or somewhere, and I took a picture and I sent it to you.
I'll go ahead. I just took a picture and I'll post it on later.
Exactly.
With the notes.
Exactly.
It's the most important setup ever.
Because if you have it now, post it now because it's the killer setup. It's a 1,000,000% profit setup. It's a double bottom with confirmation above, in this case for longs now. This is a super killer setup. I remember I got it somewhere, but I don't see guys where. Another important thing I'm using now, really important, is the ATR screen that he has on the right bottom. It's really important because it's really probable that in this part we will see the triangles going green, and when the price can break it, your long confirmation is there. Those ATRs work amazing. So I'm pretty sure, we cannot see now, but I'm pretty sure that in the ATR graphic where he uses wrinkles, I'm pretty sure there were like green triangles. I can bet you there were the green triangles. Take a look on it, because every time price is like making these patterns, it's always a triangle and an ATR, and if it's green and it can go above, you go long. It's your confirmation to go long. It's super powerful. If it's red, it's to go short, right? Obviously. But look, again, how many points? 30, 39.20 to 39.30 something. Come on, guys. Yeah, that's it. Bye. You make almost $1,000 with those two trades or more, depending where you enter. Or you just have to let the market rise and put your stop below 39.25 and let it run. But honestly, I could have taken 10 points on ES. I don't play with ES. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You see, it's you just have to be patient, but that's really important to follow that setup. Look, market. I'm pretty sure this price will go really, really high, and that's what I don't like about the black chart. If you see, there is a 713 higher than then 705. It means market can rebound, right? You see?
Mhm.
So, but the thing is that on blue chart, I don't know how to explain it, but I struggle reading the black one, but the blue one is clear to me. Is there a way we can see the?
Yeah, so Adrian, I screwed up my record. Apparently, I screwed up my recording somehow. Although I really don't know how I did on this one. But yeah, this is all I've got. But
Don't worry, it's fine.
well, if you look
Don't
at
worry.
Discord, though, if looking on Discord, Charlie just posted the full shot. So apparently, I'm not quite sure what I did or how.
Don't worry.
So
Don't worry. Look how nice it looks, right? And that's AG, that's copper. One of my favorite instruments. Copper and gold. Oh my God, I love them. I love gold. Copper is like the son of gold. It's different. It's really nice. Once you take a trade, you just keep it for the full day. But look, draw a line, please. Draw a line. 668, 667, 665. There is a beautiful, exactly. So what I do is that normally I place my stop below the trend line, but honestly, this was a super killer trade. It's really important that you find the double bottom picture and ¿qué pasa, mi amor? Oh, beba, pues este para allá. It's really important to find the double bottom setup because sometimes can be a triangle, sometimes can be a perfect double bottom. And when I say a triangle, I mean the head and shoulders like this. This is a perfect setup. Inclusive market made this yesterday. This move yesterday in RTY. Head and shoulders and make the retest above at the end, and I took it. It made me make almost like $1,000 just taking that trade in the end of the day. And he said, look, super powerful setup. And it's exactly this what you're watching. Head and shoulders in the below part, confirmation above. Then he drove the algo. He's helping us, honestly, because that algo he knew was the important algo to beat. And that's it. I don't know if the market will stop there, but for the formation, it has potential to go 10, 20 points more above. Just for the pattern, you know, the head and shoulder and the retest above. We need to find that on Discord, guys. I'm pretty sure I made it. I drew it for you guys and I sent it to you. I remember. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm sort of sliding it along here.
Yeah, but it was easy to read, but honestly, it's easy to read in the blue one. To me. Yeah, beautiful. You just need to take care of your taking profit. That's it. And coming back again, typical for me is that's why drawing patterns is really important in ES, because if you see patterns are respected in a certain way, it can make fake inventions or fake penetrations or stuff like that, but it's part of the game, you know. It's not perfect line or perfect. There does not exist perfect trends.
Just looking at the 738 on top.
It looks it's reversal, right?
Yeah. So you got 750 and you got, this is where sometimes he says, you know, greater into lesser into greater, but then you can also have great, greater, greatest. So there's increasing strength of the white numbers above. the pink numbers are not greater than the orange numbers, but there is the white numbers are definitely greater. And the 738 is bigger than the 7.
Exactly. That's the thing I don't like in the black screen. That's what I use the blue one. It confuses me, but I follow the trends.
Yeah, and I just shared it on Discord again. The blue printed like a white dot as well. At this point.
Give me a second. To share my whole desktop instead of just that window. Again, this is technology. I suck at technology. Screen share.
Sienna, no, Sienna. Hey.
Okay. Can you guys see the Discord shot as well?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, what we really want to do with this part. All right. So obviously this is the screenshot that Charlie just posted. And you were saying, yeah, it printed a white dot up here.
Yeah, although it's weaker than the rest.
So Adrian, I know you, as you've been saying, you really like the blue charts.
Yes.
Oh,
the blue
okay.
charts and the ATR Renko bar.
Okay. There was, I mentioned earlier before you got on, that the white dots without numbers, you attribute, you look at those. Correct?
Exactly.
All right. And so, assuming you went long here, this to you would be
that's my friend channel, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
exactly. Actually, look what a beautiful. I will connect the one bottom 1082 to the other white that it's empty. Yeah. No. That one to bottom. To no above. No number 3920. Yes. That one. You draw a line there is a pattern. Yeah.
we draw it horizontal.
There's your killer long. That's the long I could have taken.
All right. So you
I won't read the black one, honestly. I will just go with, well, I will just to be curious, and because 2750 ticks is not a small thing, but as I said to you, the calculations are tough, you know. But look, you have all the channels there. That's it. All you have to do. That's it. You see? Did you see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And draw a trend line from exactly beautiful. Yes. We are talking now, guys.
Would you just take series of 10 points though? Because the blue one is slow, and by the time the 1017 is printed, you'll be 5, 7, 10 points down.
To enter the market, I use the 2750 ticket chart.
To what exit?
It's big enough. To enter the market, I use no, Sienna, no hagas eso. To enter the market, I take the in my charts, I use the 2750 because it's big number. It's not a small, so it's really accurate to trade. The 2750 or 3000 ticks, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adrian, I want to make sure that we're understanding correctly. Although you look at the blue chart for your overall trend to exactly time the entry, you'll look at the black chart.
Exactly. I use the blue one for everything. That's it. And just for curious, the green one, because in that chart is when he draws the algo lines, like the one we just saw, right?
Mhm.
He doesn't draw it in the blue one. He does draw it in the black one. But it was also nice to see the black one in this case, because look, I could have made my entrance based on the blue one, but the black one showed the head and shoulders and the pattern with the retest above. So that's your playbook. That's a playbook game. That's a playbook trade.
So looking at the black chart, okay, you got these numbers seem to be saying, you could be saying short, 7 to 5, 7 to 10. On the blue chart, however, the 1017 is less than 1082. 1017 is less than 1133. So you're saying,
well, actually, my long was confirmed just for the 1133.
correct.
In the blue one. That was my key number. And the trend lines you just draw, honestly, that's the way I could have traded. Yeah, just paying more attention, just like we did. 658, 667, the head and shoulder, the double bottom on 3920. That's good to see now, but the blue one is telling you everything.
So at this juncture, okay, the blue line.
But look, who cares? You exit. You should have entered 3917 or 3920, right?
Yeah.
You're exiting the market at 3937, guys. Who cares? Yeah, you're out of the market. You should not be taking stock here. If you, it's because you're the worst trader on the planet and you don't understand it yet, honestly.
You heard.
One day, sorry?
I said, you're hurting me, Adrian.
But it is true. You have. Sina, cállate, mi amor. Ya, por favor. Loba, a tu cama. Hazte para allá. Sorry, guys, but it's hard to be with a baby and a German Shepherd playing together. Yeah, Soy. Okay, guys, what was I saying? Yeah, yes. If you didn't take your profit at 39.37, you deserve to lose money because you're trading like a monkey. Honestly, you don't know what you're doing with ES. Yes, it's horrible. It's terrible. So you shouldn't be out of the market.
No.
Honestly.
We would have got in around here someplace. We would have got out up in here someplace. The 688, is that giving a long? I mean, my inclination is, I don't know.
Which one is giving you long?
When it's here, it's come down again, it's printed, it's got a white dot. But the white numbers are not strong. This is still weaker. The orange numbers are, I think, greater than the pinks. It's close, but yeah, I think they're greater. The orange numbers are greater than the pink numbers, the sum of them all.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a double bottom-ish. Would you have gone in that?
Okay, first I will repeat the thing I've been teaching you. Where is the trend? If you draw the full trend, you have to go where on bottom. There is some bottom as I just see the 0.93 to connect with the 11.33. You have to connect those lines and make a big channel in your chart, and that can be a re-enters point 2 again. So it's really probable to me, that's what I think. It's really probable to me that market will rebound because we have if it breaks the trend line that we just draw, it's really probable that market can fall. But where can it fall? It can maybe go to where the algo line is again. It's obvious it can go there. But if they want that the market goes higher, it won't, right? You have to connect your point on your 668, 706 draw line. Okay, it's broken perfectly. It's clear. And you have to wait for your Genki ashes. No, mi amor. Es una semilla. You understand? Guys?
Do you guys understand?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. And I put another updated chart in the Discord.
Discord.
But that it's really important to see that pattern. That pattern, it's a killer. Honestly, the algos don't let you do it. It's super hard. My recommendation, just make 2 trades on ES. That's it. If you do more, you will lose money. Honestly, guarantee, unless you're Gene or you have his technology, you will lose money. 2 trades is more than enough. They say that ES is good to learn. ES is good to take your money out and to kill people. Go to NASDAQ, go to RTY, go to corn, go to other market, go to gold, go to ES is really hard to trade. But you see, there is a trade. We were waiting to the trade. What if the 3 golden rules, you have it, the pattern, the dots. It was perfect trade. It was a perfect trade. You don't have to lose your money necessarily, you know?
Adrian, like on the blue chart, do you use that like I don't know if they're moving averages or whatever they are, those little lines? Do you look at those?
No, never.
Okay.
No, I don't. I was taught to know to read moving average. So I never pay attention to moving average, just 250, 100 to know if in a long term the trend is up or down. That's it. But I don't use moving average, and I discover I don't think those are moving average. Maybe it's something else.
Yeah, it probably is. I had no idea what they are.
I will be really surprised if they are just moving average. I'm pretty sure this is something other kind of calculation or another kind of algo calculation on gamma or beta or delta, because I really don't think Jing will be using moving average. I promise you this. I'm pretty sure that's another thing.
Gene was flashing some sort of signals there a minute ago.
But you see, if you draw the trend line, there it is. There it is. And something that is really strong. Look at it's not here, but the ATR Renko bar. When we have this kind of traffic or congestion, look. That one, guys, you have to look at that one. When we were in 2020, look at the green one. 2020, 50.43, price broke there and broke where it was 87.5. There were your longs. Beautiful. Now it's yellow. Yellow, you don't know what to do. You have to wait to break it. Siena, ¿qué haces? ¿Otra manzana? Pero ya te comiste 2. No. ¿En serio? Sorry, guys. Hey, no grites. That is key to me. What's what I do? Take a look on the blue. That's like the one that is going to tell me, tráeme tu plato. No, tráeme el plato para la manzana. So you have to take a look on the blue one to know the direction. Remember, you need to be right. You don't need to go fast. You need to go right. In the end of the day, the blue one is the one that is going to tell you to go long or to go short, right? Even the black one is strong and it's showing us more computing faster information. And it's computing faster information. It's not what you need to. Well, Well, in this case, yes, it showed me the head and shoulders and it showed me the algo line. Yes, I have to say it's the first time maybe because I'm learning to read the market, the system, not the market, the system better. But the blue one is the one I take, honestly. This black one was really good to find the algo, to find the double bottom, to find the head and shoulders. The head and shoulders was the double bottom. And to... ¿Quieres que la parta? ¿La corto? No. Agárrala.
I think that was,
That was what?
that's
Sí, sí, espérate.
Don is usually the last man standing on these things, but it's between him and I who logs off last. Hey, guys, before we end, we're a little bit past schedule, but any parting questions for Adrian?
Want to say thank you. This is really eye-opening for me. Did not really go that deeper as you went with the ES.
Adrian, thanks for disregarding everything I told you yesterday about not taking time this morning. We really appreciate it. Super informative. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Adrian.
And trust me, the best advice I can give you is Gene said that thing 2 days ago. I know guys in trading floors are not allowed to trade future years, only for clients, not for opening all positions. That difficult it is. And not all the trading floors have the technology that Gene has. Only it's unvaluable. That costs billions of dollars. I don't know. But trust me, listen, don't just make 2 trades on ES. If you make more, I guarantee you will lose money. You have to make 2 or 3. That's it. That's it. You don't need more. You have to have the discipline to say, okay, I make 2 trades, I make money. If I trade again, I will begin to lose. And that's
We always appreciate it. And everyone has a great weekend and see you. I'm going to be traveling first part of the week, but hope everyone else will be back together Tuesday. All right.
perfect.
Have a great
Thanks
weekend.
again.
See you guys.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Appreciate it.